Hey, what's up everybody? This is Nick and you're watching Travel Hackers, where we talk about how to get the most out of all your vacations. In this video, we're going to talk about credit when utilizing multiple credit cards for traveling. But before we do, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. On this channel, we do talk about credit cards pretty frequently, about how to utilize them to get different sign-up bonuses and perks for traveling. And if you don't have a plan in mind, you could have some major negative impacts happen to your credit. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some guy that likes talking about traveling on a YouTube channel and makes videos in his spare bedroom that he turned into an office. So these are just things that I've seen and that have worked for me to be able to help increase my credit. So definitely make sure that you keep that in mind. Now, most credit card companies, they do offer large sign-up bonuses and rewards whenever you do sign up, in the hopes that the person holding the card racks up a huge credit card balance and only pays the minimum, so that the credit card company can make more in interest than what they're paying out for rewards and the sign-up bonus. So obviously that's the reason why we always suggest paying off your cards in full, and don't spend more money on your credit cards just because you have to hit a sign-up bonus. Only spend what you actually can pay for. Now, according to Experian, 75% of Americans who have a credit card carry a balance on it from month to month, with the average balance being $5,315. So you can easily see why the credit card companies are trying to entice people to sign up for more and more credit cards. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about 4 factors that play a role into your credit. In the end, we're going to talk about a couple tips that we've personally used that helped increase our credit while we've been trying to take advantage of credit cards in order to be able to travel more. So the first factor is going to be credit card utilization. Now, just because you have a large credit card limit doesn't mean you should be using all of that. Anything over 30% is actually going to have a pretty large impact on your credit. So for example, if you have a $10,000 credit limit on one or multiple different credit cards, the most that you should keep a balance on at the most is $3,000. Anything more, and you're definitely going to start seeing where you're going to have an impact to your credit score. Now, we always do suggest with your credit card utilization to keep it as low as possible. We personally don't put anything on our credit card that we can't pay off at the end of the month. Now, obviously there's some times where things happen, medical expenses, auto expenses, life events, and you just need that extra credit since you might not have the cash readily available. And yeah, if something happens and you do need to spend an extra, $1,000, $1,500 on, fixing your car, then obviously you're gonna have to carry a balance for a little bit. But ideally, at the end of every single month, you should pay it off to zero. That's gonna have the best impact to your credit. The next factor is payment history. Now, the more payments that you make, the more reliable of a borrower you look to these different banks. So if you have a really long history of making your payments on time every single time, then to a new lender, it seems like you're going to be a very responsible person that's going to be able to pay them on time. Your payment history, just having 1 or 2 different late payments, anything over 30 days, that's going to have a major impact to your credit. And if you allow a balance to go unpaid for long where it becomes delinquent, that's going to have an even huger impact. So obviously it makes sense. Pay your credit card bills on time, even if you have to set them up so that they're auto pay, so that you're at least paying the minimum every single month, so that you don't miss a single payment. Another factor that's going to have an impact on your credit is how frequently you're trying to open up credit cards or different type of credit accounts. If all of a sudden you decide to apply for 3, 4, 5 credit cards all at once, it's going to look very suspicious to the different banks. That's a sign to them that you're trying to get a really large excess of funds available, and it just looks really fishy to them. Now, many banks, they do have their own rules. They may not actually be written. Like Chase, they have their rule, 524 rule, where they will not approve you if you've opened up 5 credit cards within the 24-month period. So when you're opening up different credit cards, you might want to look to see what their specific rules are, because with Chase, even if you have an 800 credit score and it's the 6th card that you're trying to get within 24 months, they'll just immediately deny you. It doesn't even play an impact on what your income is, what your credit is. They'll just completely deny you just because that follows their rule. The last factor that we're going to talk about is the age of your credit. Now, if you've been somebody that's been borrowing on different credit cards, you've kept accounts open for a very long time, it shows that you're going to be a reliable borrower. So your chances of getting approved for a larger credit limit, getting a credit card that's going to have more benefits, you're more likely to if you do have a really long credit history as opposed to somebody that's just opened up their first or second card. Even if your credit score is about the same, having a longer credit history is going to really increase your odds. So people that are just starting into this, credit card journey, wanting to utilize it for traveling hacking, you might not want to jump directly to the American Express Platinum card or the Chase Reserve card. You're going to want to slowly build your way up. So now we're going to talk about some tips that we've personally used to help us increase our credit. Now the first, we've mentioned a few times in this video, zero balance. We don't ever carry a balance at the end of the cycle. We always pay it off down to zero. Typically, we pay it off down to zero before the end of the balance statement so that we're not incurring any interest on that balance that we've carried over. That actually brings us into tip number 2, make multiple payments. Again, like I said, we try to keep our balances down to zero every single month. And if I do have a large expense that I have to make, like buying a new computer or any other type of expenses that I might have, pay them on my credit card so that I'm getting the rewards and perks for utilizing that credit card. And once that hits my credit card, I'll immediately pay it off. This sometimes means that I'm making multiple payments on the same card throughout the entire month. And these multiple payments, they might not actually go onto my credit report. However, those multiple payments, they might actually help my relationship with the bank, and they do decide to increase my credit limit. The next tip is another way to increase your available credit, and that's by getting added on as an authorized user to somebody else's credit card. Now, becoming an authorized user can help in 2 different ways. One, it can increase your overall credit history. If you're able to get added on to one of your parents' credit cards, that they've had the card open for 20 years, and it's going to show now that you have 20 years of having a credit card open. And more than likely, if your parents have had a credit card for 20 years, they do have a rather large available credit. So this will help you in both ways. Now, me and my wife, since we do this credit card hacking kind of in a 2-player mode, all of her cards and all of my cards were on as authorized users. So it allows us to increase our available credit without having multiple inquiries on our credit report. Now, that brings us into the next tip, to only apply for a credit card every 6 months or so. Typically what we do is we apply for one card that has a large sign-up fee, but have a certain minimum spend requirement. So we'll sign up for one with me, and then after that 3 months, we'll end up doing that with my wife. And the last tip is to keep your oldest credit cards open. And some of them are gonna have really large sign-up bonuses, but they're also gonna have annual fees. Now, if you sign up for one to get the large sign-up bonus, when that card is up a year from now, you don't necessarily need to keep it open. So you may decide to close that account and open it up later on whenever that card's available for you again, but you're gonna want to make sure that you're keeping your oldest ones open. It doesn't show that you have a really short history of credit. That's why we always suggest when you're starting with new credit cards and you think that you're gonna be going through a handful of them, that your first few that you're gonna wanna sign up for are ones that they might not have the largest sign-up bonus, but there aren't any annual fees, so it doesn't hurt you to keep them open. It's only going to help you and benefit you because it's going to show that you have a longer credit history. So let me know in the comments down below if there's any tips that you've used to help your credit. Thank you again for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and hit the bell icon for notifications. I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.